Hello, fellow gamers. I'm Gloryhound, and this is
DrGloryhogg.
And today we're doing that Kickstarter show for all of you out there for the holidays.
The KSGF, the Kickstarter's Girlfriend Game Found.
That's not how that works.
When she posted that, she was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about Kickstarter and GF," and I was like, "Kickstarter's girlfriend."
It's the Game Found. It's the Game Found,
hey,
everyone.
Game Found is not anybody's girlfriend. Game Found is a woman that knows what they want. Yeah.
Entity. They're
That's
their
a
own
whole
thing.
thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They're like, we'll casually do our first project, ISS Vanguard, $1 million.
Casual, just casually do
$1 million.
our millions of dollars projects here for everybody.
Oh.
And they did a really good job thus far as of keeping the site up and running and everything. I haven't heard anything bad about it's suddenly shutting down or.
So the only thing they had is it slowed down because technically the game funded within 1 minute is what I think Ryan was saying. Ryan Schoon.
That's so
funded
funny.
within 1 minute, but since the website's slowed down, it took 3.5 minutes to process that to say it funded.
Oh.
Because there were so many people click.
Right. So, and hello to our chat today. It looks like we have Kabuki in chat and Steven and Omar. We have Battle Cry.
Oh, talking about so many things coming in. We have Dice Throne and Etherfield's coming in. We've got a bunch of games still to play. We're going to probably play Valor and Villainy tonight just to get ready for next week. We have a big old thing. We got a big, nice care package from White Wizard that sent us Sorcerer with some of the expansion packs and Hero Realms, with the campaign deck.
We have so many things to play over the next few weeks, so many. The Mimic shirt is new. I just got it for the doctor. What does it say on the bottom of it?
This is why I have trust issues. She had to get it a size bigger because COVID's been very kind to my waistline.
COVID has been kind to everybody's waistline, okay?
Listen,
Let's not joke about it.
Some people started working out during COVID, and I salute those people. I was not one of them.
Good job, everyone.
It's not very far to get from... I was thinking today, remember when we all wore pants? I had so many pants. I had going to work pants. I had hanging out around the house pants. And I had pants that I would do work outside in, I would call my outside pants. And then I had pants if I wanted to look fancy, but not
fancy
at work.
Pants. Hold on.
I had fancy pants.
Fancy pants?
And I don't wear any of those now.
Hello, DSX Machina. So they're here for Naramata.
That is the creators of Naramata right there.
That's right, the publisher. Mm-hmm. So if you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments for them. We appreciate you showing up today.
You guys want to see the pants I wear all the time now? This is them.
Wow.
This is them.
I guess that's this type of show. It's going to be that type of show today, everybody. The show where Doctor just...
Season's greetings.
Shows his pants to the camera. Full pant shot to the camera.
Full pant shot.
I apologize in advance for everyone, okay?
She's going to have to blur out the whole bottom of the screen. I just think it's funny. That's all I wear now is these, pajama pants.
So if you are new to this channel, make sure to like and subscribe to our content as we talk about Kickstarters every week, except for the end of the month. We're not gonna, this is our last Kickstarter show of...
You're welcome, Omar.
...this year. So we're going to start talking about Kickstarters again whenever it picks up back in January. So I'm excited to get through these today.
That first one was free.
Pants.
If you want more, it's going to cost you.
Thanks for having the pants.
I'm telling you.
Oh, gosh.
I'm telling you, it feels like it's been a while. I know we've done stuff.
Gloryhound After Dark.
I know we've done stuff recently, but it feels like it's been a while since we've done the Kickstarter show, but it really hasn't been that long. We skipped one because we were kind of waiting for a collection of games to kind of build up.
Oh my gosh. Hold on, everyone. I don't want to hear it. I've already heard this before. There we go. All right. First up, there we go. First up, we have the Steven Rhodes Games. This is by Cryptozoic Games. It's going to be 3 different games based off of the Steven Rhodes, sort of drawings and stuff, right?
You have one of these shirts.
How dare you?
You did. It's not
Mine
one
was
of
the
these.
necromancy one where it's I make my own friends or something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought you had one that said everything is fine too. That was kind of like that.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing. Well, everybody loves the art, and I think that's exactly what they went for in this. They're
it's so wholesome.
It's not wholesome.
Look, they're just summoning demons. And a skunk, baby.
And a rabid dog. Sweet Caroline. Okay, first off,
buddy.
I have to say, this is 3 different games. They're all going to range from about 2 to 6 players. Their playtime's in that 20-minute range. So they're not super long games. They're going to be little things that you get to your table very, very quickly, and then you can cycle through them and everything. You have options to buy the individual game or several games in this case
Right, a
here.
3-pack, which is funny because when I looked at this, I was like, this reminds me of Epic Spell Wars.
Yes.
And it's made by Cryptozoic. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Well, I was going to go over that. This is like the 100% perfect company to be doing these games.
Yeah. Well, it's very much you're buying a lot of this for the kind of fun theme for more than anything else. Because they are light games. They've said that a couple times in the videos and even in the playthroughs and how to play them. They're all light games.
They're light games.
Yeah.
Like they know that this is for a certain audience. This is for the audience that you want to bring to your table to play something fun and funny, who might be interested in games, but are not yet at that full board game level as you're going through, or just something to lighten the mood during your board game group, like coming to your house and playing, like those in-between games.
I very much, like, this is something for, like, you know, your kind of friends during the holidays or something. I mean, I know COVID's made everything kind of weird, but it's very casual gaming for sure. They're shorter games. They're all very based off of like one mechanic and one mechanic only. Do you know all the different mechanics in these?
Well, we'll go over them here in a second. I loved the warning on the end of this. That was hilarious.
Oh.
They did such a cute job with the theme on this here.
Very aware of themselves.
Oh, absolutely. So, game one, go ahead.
So, Let's Dig for Treasure is essentially a push your luck game where you're digging literally for treasure. And as you're digging, you can dig as much as you want, getting more and more rewards and powers and everything like that. But if you end up hitting 2 worms, or if you end up hitting the skeleton, you lose everything. So it's 100% push your luck, just dig, 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 and then how far can you dig basically before you hit a card that's going to make you stop and lose everything.
Petter says, I wish those boxes looked more like VHS boxes. And Battle Cry wants the boxes only with the sweet ramps.
Yeah,
so
that's
you need
a promo.
the sweet ramps card in there. It is a promo.
That's a promo. That's going to be drawn by my wife. She's going to draw that promo for this.
The art is amazing in these, everyone.
Yeah,
like,
I could see having this like as funny art up on the wall or something more than anything else.
They did such a good job with the art in this. It's so funny. It is. It brings that.
These should be shirts. I'd wear these as t-shirts.
Right?
Obviously. I mean, I wear crazy shirts all the time.
They have that wholesomeness to them that just horribly sadistic, I guess, the wholesomeness. It's just hilarious.
This is a mashup you can finally get behind, where it's like summoning demons and then like small children. That's finally the mashup that you want to stand. This is the hill she'll die on.
That's
is it.
the one.
Okay. It's good to know where your lines are drawn.
Friendly
She's like,
propaganda about demon summoning, yes.
I don't like mashups unless it's demons and children. Then I'm okay.
What about the less summoned demons?
So Less Summoned Demons is kind of like almost like a Machikoro, where you're collecting these different cards and then you're rolling the dice. And then if you get like the dice roll, like when you roll the dice, if you get like an 8, you get to activate that circle. If you roll the 12, you get to activate that circle. So it's all about collecting souls. So you want to get out as many of those coasters or whatever you want to call them, circles as you can, and then roll the dice and then hopefully collect a whole bunch of souls and win by having the most. And look, they have a Porcus card.
Hello, Van Solo Game Shakedown. How are you doing today? So
the look of these games is amazing.
Like I said, so we've played Epic Spell Wars quite a bit back in the day. Like, it was one of our go-to games with a certain group of people that we would play games with.
Your edgy, cool friends.
So whenever I did see Cryptozoic...
Now you're button-down Greg's.
Well, that's true. And whenever I saw Cryptozoic doing this, I'm like, oh, they're going to do these right. Because Cryptozoic has this style that is very edgy and sort of just like... What's the word I'm looking for? I'm like looking for like a word. It's like rude, but not like...
But it's not rude.
Not rude, yeah.
It's like edgy humor,
I guess. I don't know. It's funny, though. I love it.
I've only played regular Spell Wars, and it was average. Oh, poor Petter.
Aww.
And don't talk to strangers. I don't know what you'd call this mechanism, but you're essentially running around the board trying to get your children to, like, the prom or to, like, the school or to these different places to score.
Like a pick up and deliver?
Kind of, because like you also potentially can have aliens show up and they'll abduct you if you're out in the open, and there's certain places you can't be.
It's like a pick up and deliver game, but like with, what is it, like road warnings or something like that, where like something comes in. I mean,
yeah, like with some kind of like, watch out, aliens. It's very it's definitely for a very distinct crowd. I have nothing against it. I don't think it's something that I'm going to play a whole bunch, but it is something I think looks really cool.
You know what? This is almost something... So the price on this here, I think, is $20 if you want just one game, and then the price goes up after that.
Would you say this is a good fit for somebody whose like favorite game was like Munchkin or something, maybe? Kind of like a lighter card game? I mean, Munchkin's more in-depth than these, it seems like. But,
I think so.
But someone who likes like a Mars Attacks or Chupacabra, like those kind of lighter Steve Jackson games.
Absolutely.
That's in that Barnes and Noble.
Or like that Epic Spell Wars sort of game.
Well,
and
Epic
stuff
Spell Wars
where...
is more complicated than these, for sure.
You think so? I don't think so, because
you got to make combinations.
Epic Spell Wars is just about putting cards down and matching them up. Like,
how dare you?
That's what
Get
Epic
out.
Spell Wars is.
Get out. Take your non-pants and leave. Your non-holiday style pants.
I do have pants on. Okay, don't let anybody think that I don't have pants on.
Yeah, maybe like a points of interest game. Maybe, something like that. Because that's what you're doing. You're trying to get to these different spots, and some of them are going to score higher than others. But it's riskier the longer you're out because an alien can snatch you up.
I'm just going to say that...
Which is like real life. The longer you're outside, the more likely you are to get snatched up by an alien.
There are some of these games like...
They respect roofs.
like this that I have gotten to the table in the past. Like, what did we had? We had Ramen Fury and the Trapper Keeper game and stuff that kind of have like that old nostalgia feel to them. But they're quick games, and they're fun to get to the table. You can show them off to people. You can get them for friends who are maybe just getting into the hobby and stuff like that. And they're going to be something that they can play and bring to their table and not be overrun with lots of instructions. And you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not intimidating. And so, like, this falls into that category of gameplay. So I think if that's what you're looking for in this game, then this is a for sure hit. Unless you have any issues with summoning demons. So, I mean...
see this as being something I would more likely give to somebody as a gift who's into, like, some lighter gaming.
Or even something like, there's some of those games that I would just want to, like, have out in my house. And then people are going to be like, oh my, what is that game?
What's wrong with this lady?
I'm telling you, if somebody comes into your house... and you may have all these board games, and then faced out front is your Let's Summon Demons game. That might get some questions. That might open some conversation with some board games. Okay.
Petter says his only issue is that he's going to end up setting a drink on some of those coaster cards.
Oh,
I always think about
true.
that with circle cards. Is someone's just going to like not be thinking, be like, bloop.
That's true.
Put that burrito right down on it.
It's some of why Laser Riders is a prominent spot on my shelf. Exactly.
Well, it's like Heroes of Rock or any of those, like just kind of funny games.
Like She Has Friends. Oh, geez, Battle Cry.
He's not wrong.
Well, not right now during COVID. Geez.
Sure. And then the Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Samurai Worms.
It's the worms.
They're samurais, not ninjas. They have a code of honor.
The Demon Voodoo Queen. So, Doctor, we have quite a few Kickstarters to get through today. Would you back this?
No, maybe as a gift, but not for myself.
Okay. And you all out there, I want to know if you're backing this game here. I would say I would back this for like that nostalgia reason and stuff like that.
More like as a centerpiece than like...
I want the Let's Summon
time.
Demon games, and I want it on my table, and like the middle portion of my table, especially now that my room is all gothic and everything.
Are you at the point of like
it's
just
gonna be fun.
Games for lulz? Just like this
games
would be funny.
for lulz. Well, I could also learn to play it and then play it with people, and it would be a lot of fun just to break out like for funsies with people and freak people out. But I mean, that's kind of the whole theme of it, really, you know?
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So that's what I would back this for, but we got a lot of other stuff to talk about today.
Oh man, Luke just dropped like a heavy question. He's like, what's your favorite and least favorite Kickstarter you've ever backed? I would actually have to sit down and think about it, because there has been a lot that we've backed.
Luke?
And right now, like probably top, Kingdom Rush is really great, and I'm really loving Super Fantasy Brawl. Like I kind of played it a little bit and then kind of got away from it. Then we started doing the tournament coverage. I was like, gosh, I want to play this game more. And like we covered it, and we did the whole thing for Mythic for like a couple hours for 3 weekends in a row, and I still like was not bored of it. I was like, I want to play more of it.
So Kabuki says, yeah, best Kickstarter I ever backed was Zia, I think. Let's see here. And Luke, if you want to leave that in our Discord, there's a link in the bottom in the description. Yeah. That would be fantastic, and I'll come back and answer that after this, because that's a really good question. Absolutely. Let's see here. I can mention the ones but I like, but the best, wow, I don't know. It's a lot to think about.
Well, because like even the ones that I don't like, it's typically because I just ends up being like, maybe it's a play style that I don't enjoy as much. I'm like, oh, this is very take thatty. I don't want to play a bunch of this with you.
That's very true, because there's
But it wasn't a game that like was bad. We gave it to somebody else, and they love it because they play a lot of that.
What is Artemis Project, I believe it was, right?
Yeah, that one had a little bit of that.
It was a good game, but it had a little bit of like too much take that in it for us. For two players, yeah.
Just for us.
And that's how we play most of our games. So we were like, oh, this is a pass for us. But it's a hard question to answer like that.
Oh, I can tell you, hard. The game I'm sad about backing was Rising Sun, and this is why. Because
Oh my
Greg
gosh.
backed it, Game Boy Geek backed it, Andrew backed it, Alex
Everybody.
backed it, and our friend group, all like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 of us all backed it at like the highest tier, basically. So we all have a copy of it. So we only played our copy once, even though I played the game probably 15 times.
We could
So I
run a
regret backing
tournament
that.
between all of us. We could run a tournament.
Because man, like, even if I enjoy the game, I don't need to have 15 copies of it within like 1 degree of separation from me.
Next up, we have Momiji. This is by 3 Emme Games. This is for 1 to 4 players. Should last about 30 minutes. In this particular game here, you are going to be drawing cards from the center here. So you're going to be flipping out cards, putting matches on the board, and then you end up like taking a pile of those cards, and then you have to order them in front of you. And you have certain rules about ordering these cards as you put them together. And you get acorns, like if you put acorn cards together, and then you're trying to go up from like 0 to whatever number as you're going through. The only thing I have to say about this video, because the video is beautiful, I wish they had a voiceover of what was happening
You have to go
during this right here. You have to actually,
go to Tantrum House to see like more of what's actually happened in the game, because this didn't explain it very well.
Right. And so
then I didn't get that vibe whenever I was going down either, as far as like how complex is it, like what is it?
I watched this video and I was like, oh gosh, this like game is beautiful, but what is happening during this part right here? I'm like, what the heck is happening right now? Trees are the new zombies. What?
Yep, that's it.
Oh, I guess that's true, right?
All the tree games.
It has been.
It's
it
because
has
of
been.
Everdell. That's why.
Also, is this the one? Yeah, so do not just type in, I think, Momiji, or else you'll come up with like a dead or alive character. You have to actually type in Momiji the game in order to get any other information about this game.
Huh.
Otherwise, you're just seeing a ton of stuff about that dead or alive
It's like
game.
Japanese animation.
It's a girl like character for the game and stuff, and so you have all sorts of interesting art that comes up with that. And so just be aware. Just be aware, everyone. Okay.
Anime, the fine line you never knew you wanted.
That's right.
Yeah,
So-
it is hard to understand what the game does from the page. I felt like Tantrum House did a good job of kind of explaining, and of course we love Tantrum House, they're really sweet.
Oh yeah.
They did a good job of explaining it. I was thinking that this would be closer to like maybe like an Arboretum or something, but I feel like this is probably less complex than Arboretum. It probably falls into like maybe like, and when I say, when I'm comparing to similar games, it just kind of helps me kind of figure out where this fits in the game space.
Right.
They're not a copy of that game.
No, not at all.
And there could be multiples. I mean, I have like over 100 worker placement games probably, and they all pretty much are worker placements. I feel like this probably fits in like maybe like the Lotus or maybe like a Lantern style game where there's like some collection, there's some like real decisions you have to make, but overall it's still a light game that you're not gonna be like upset if you lose because it's only gonna last 30 minutes to an hour at the most.
I think Arboretum and Lanterns are really great comparative games for this particular one because you are having to arrange those cards in a really uniform way while also trying to get all the points, and then you have like these little scenery icons that you have that let you break those rules a little bit. And the whole point though is drafting those cards from the top, but when you're drafting them, you have to make sure that you can like put them all in your little scenery, you know?
In order. And
So it's like, I feel like the concept is easy to go in and learn. You're like, yeah, I know how to play
but
this
you
game.
can get messed up if somebody
Yes.
drafts like a stack you need.
Yes. And then like going through and
you
actually
play
like
with us.
making it happen, and people are hate drafting you and all sorts of stuff. Like
Kitty.
there could be craziness happening. This has so many extra levels of play here, I think. So
Like this cat. I want to know your 2 worker placement games if you only actually have 2 Petter, because worker placement is in like everything now. I think it's like probably one of the most used mechanisms there is. Besides like Push Your Luck, because those can be put into like 1,000 little 15-minute games.
Dead or Alive, fun game, but boy, are they embarrassing as well. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't want
Kabuki, I
your
was like,
parents
ooh,
coming in when you're playing Dead or
you do
Alive.
not
It's
want-
awkward.
you do not need your children walking in on you with that.
You don't want to play it at work.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see here. I'm just looking at the comments.
Oh, no,
really quick.
Luke, I would honestly say we've only had one that didn't deliver, and they
Yeah.
attempted to refund. That's it. And like you see, it'll be back probably at least for a month, if not more.
It was Hollywood Death Race, and that is the only one that I've never had delivered that was a board game.
And when
like,
Greg says that he had one that
Yeah.
didn't. So, I mean, as long as you're going for campaigns that seem like they're from reliable companies, you should be fine. If you're really nervous about it, stick to the bigger companies. They're going
Absolutely.
to deliver.
Absolutely. And you can basically just go and when we go through these games, we do research. So I'll go to their Facebook page, their Twitter page, and if I see all of these pages here that are brand new pages. You know, on Twitter, they have like 10 followers, and on Facebook, they have like, you know, less than 100 likes. I'm like, oh, maybe they haven't been around long. Maybe they haven't done a bunch of research. And then I go into the designers that they might have and stuff, and seeing if they have any credibility with the people that are actually working with that company and stuff. So there are 100% ways to go through and make sure that you don't get scammed. And a lot of times, if we do find a company that I feel like has taken like a big name, oh gosh, my cat's like on the camera
like
right now.
rubbing her face all over the camera. Come here, you.
We try to, if I see something that's blowing up that I feel unsure about what's happening with the game and if it's going to be a credible project, I will 100% tell all of you at home, because I want to make sure that all of you don't get scammed. Yeah, I totally get it.
If there's concerns, we definitely bring them up.
Yeah.
So like one of the games we're covering today, there was initial concerns, but there was things that I think gives it more credibility.
Like this.
You're more likely to have like a video game not be fully developed because those are harder to do, or some random like Kickstarters from somebody you've never heard of that's making some crazy, like, I don't know, burger cup or something. Like that could potentially not fund or whatever. So I think board games are pretty solid. I think that's where Kickstarter makes the most of their money, honestly.
That may be the case, really.
I think because Kickstarters is more than video games, I think last time I heard.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Okay, so, and yes, usually they end up being late. That's just how it is. But you know what? You can always go ahead and notate which Kickstarters you really like, and then whenever they finally do deliver, go back to the companies. And usually they do have some for sale after that as well. So once they do a print run, they usually do print extras to sell at conventions or on their online site and stuff.
You might just get like a retail version instead of the Kickstarter version.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all, Luke, okay? So with this one here, I love the deluxe pledge on this, Doctor.
Oh yeah, there are some really cool pieces to it.
They're so cute.
I feel like though, since I had to do like so much work to kind of figure out how the game works, and then based off the style of the game it is, I don't think I'm as excited about it as you are, just because I don't enjoy those games as much. Like we played Lanterns and stuff and Arboretum.
I love this game though.
But how often, speaking for myself of course,
I love this game.
How often do I come up to you and I'm like, hey, let's play Lanterns?
We played the heck out of Lanterns.
We did.
Okay, first off, we played the heck out of Lanterns, and I still play Lanterns on my phone.
But you're like a weird. I don't even know what kind of gamer you are, because you like strategic games, but then you'll also play games like lighter games like Lanterns over and over and over again, and it's strategic.
It is very strategic. It's puzzly
and I beat you all the time. But you like lighter puzzle games too sometimes that I don't understand.
Did you hear that, everyone? Did
I beat her in Lanterns a lot.
No.
I do.
No, you don't.
Oh, I do.
You don't.
I'll get stats. I'll pull up some stats.
Why are you like this?
Here, do you need a health potion?
All right, so Momiji looks cute, but this feels like a number of other things. Do I need more games that look like they could be filler? How dare you, Petter? How dare you?
I think
Momiji looks amazing, and I want to back it.
If you're a regular viewer, I think you know I lean towards the experience more than the game itself. So like it's not where she can get any kind of game that's abstract and just enjoy it. For me, the abstract game has to have like a really good theme behind it, or I'm just not going to enjoy it as much.
This one, I feel like, well, for example, I really do like Lanterns. I really do like your Arboretum and stuff. And I don't believe you really like Arboretum at all. And that is like a fantastic game.
No, that's not true. I would play either one of them, but I will never initiate a play with them. I'll never be like, we should play this game tonight.
I really like Arboretum. If I could teach more people how to play Arboretum, I would, but it's so hard to... Like, I don't know what the disconnect is with trying to explain that game to other people who have never played before.
Because we played it wrong the first 3 times.
Terrible. No, I did not.
We did.
No, that was a different game.
Nope, it was Arboretum. We played it wrong like the first 1 or 2 times at least.
No, that was another game we were talking about. I think that was another game we were talking about.
Hey, I'm just going to say I have a better memory when it comes to that stuff, and it was Arboretum, because we played it just straight up
Doctor, do you want off the show today? Is that what you're aiming for today?
You want your potions?
You're trying to make it your final show for the year, too?
I'll pour out your potions. I don't even care.
You fix up that mess you made over there, Doctor.
No. See these dice?
Okay, so I'm guessing you would not back this game then.
No, not for me personally. This is one that I would try, and if it was something that stood out in that genre, then I would be like, okay, cool. But it's not something that I'm like, hype, gotta get it now. I'll never find it in retail. I better buy it, because if I don't have this game in my life, I will die.
So I love, Arboretum is solid. I love it too. I love how good it is. That 2-player, 4-player, whatever. I agree, Kabuki. See, Kabuki and I just need to hang out and play games together because that's where it's at. Kabuki will play Arboretum with me.
I literally said...
Kabuki will initiate Arboretum with me.
You never played Arboretum without me. I played it with you every single time.
That's not true. I've played with Dan. Dan likes
Wow,
Arboretum.
you played it one other time with somebody else.
No, I've played it other times with Dan.
Okay, you played Arboretum with Dan. Great for you guys. Out of all the games Game Boy Geek has, and all the games we have, you guys sit down and play Arboretum?
Are you just on this like roasting
I don't know
thing
what's
today?
wrong
It's
with
like
you
we
two.
haven't had a Kickstarter show in a week, and you're like, it's time to break out the burns today, everyone. What am I gonna do with you?
That's fine. I would just play other stuff.
Can
I
you
think
simmer down?
my go-to like light games are always like the lighter worker placements, not like hand management card
All
games.
right, let me know what you all.
Unless it's Skull King.
Let me know what you all are thinking of Momiji
With
in the
two
comments.
U's.
Yeah, because I'm interested to know if you're gonna back it, because I want to back this game. Like, we're gonna have like a throwdown for backing this game, because I want to back it like real bad.
I actually came into
is
this thinking I was going to back nothing this week.
100% right up my alley.
Because I want to be done spending for the year.
Omar says this stream might be ending earlier than expected. I'm in danger.
But you just back different things than I do. Like you
I
back
do.
these candy corn dice.
Well,
I don't think I would have ever backed these.
Here's the game. Here's the thing. I'm a super puzzly strategic gamer,
Puzzle
and
nerd.
yeah, and so I'm just gonna like those sort of games way more than you are. Like, I'm really excited about this game. I really want to play Momiji, and you're like, meh.
Hmm?
And then later,
honest
we're going
about
to
it.
talk about how unexcited I am about your game, Doctor.
Whoa.
Fog of Divorce is creeping its way
Whoa.
back to the show.
Whoa. You have no ill will towards the game that I'm excited about. I told her before the show, I was
my
like, hey,
God,
I
this
saw
is
this game. And she's
like
meh.
some fighting words right here. We're going to have a fight on here. More of a thematic gamer generally. Interesting. I feel like Momiji has enough of that like beauty and flair to it and stuff like that it draws you into the game. So it doesn't feel like you're just laying cards down
So
to make like a
even
puzzle.
talking about it's just making me feel so relaxed.
Punches are headed your way, Doctor. You're gonna get it today.
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never.
Next up, we have The Boys.
The Boys.
This is by One First Games. This is for 2 to 5 players. Should last about 60 to 120 minutes. This is the comic book company, I believe. So it's like an extension of the comic book company where they made like a new company for the game, I believe. Because why are you looking at me like that?
I don't think they're directly
I
linked.
feel like they have closer
No,
ties
because
to
they
it,
said
though,
they
right?
bought. No, because they got the rights at New York Comic Con.
Must be the pants. Burrito slap.
Sure. No, they said they got the rights to this at New York Comic Con, so it can't be from the actual people that made the first comic.
Okay. Then I am mistaken on that. Apologies.
It's cool.
So
It's cool.
you have watched The Boys.
Yes, the first season.
Yes. So can you give us a little bit on a little PG-13 on The Boys?
The Boys is a very adult-oriented superhero show where the heroes are not exactly great.
They're not
So, like, think
fantastic. They're
about
like real-life
Superman.
superheroes.
Think about Superman, but like, without any morals and just kind of doing their own thing. That's a lot of power to just kind of casually use for whatever you feel like. If you could see through walls and you weren't like a good guy, what would you do with that? If you could blast through a wall with your laser vision, who would stop you from running around and just, taking out people like a drone, like airstrike style? Think about it. The U.S. military came up to you and you could just fly and do all this stuff. Like, it'd be like if the U.S. military ran Iron Man, right? And they said, Iron Man, can you please go to this country and just blow it up? You'd be like, cool. That would be a problem.
There's no PG-13 of The Boys.
Yeah.
I specifically...
Not like Watchmen, really, because even Watchmen, there's a tinge of goodness to them. I feel like The Boys goes even further to that super gray area. And there's definitely some trigger warnings in the show itself dealing with how they interact with females and everything else. I watched the first season. I did not rush back to see the second season.
I personally have not watched the show just because of the content in it. Because I knew it was going to be very, very adult and probably not my thing. Like, I didn't want to get, like, upset over watching a show. Like, I'm not that person. Like, I want to watch shows for fun.
Right, like she's not gonna watch Handmaid's Tale, but I watch Handmaid's Tale.
Right, because I'm like, I don't need that in my life. I don't need to get upset and depressed and angry at a
I
show.
do.
But Doctor loves that. He lives off that. So that's
I
what
feed
you
off
do.
of misery. These people have it worse than me. Yes.
Now, what I thought was interesting is that they took. This is not like an exact cut of the show.
No, but it has similar ideas.
No,
It's like almost like a heist movie where you got to get the gang together,
Yes.
right? And that's what you're doing. You're going around the board by either bribing, fighting, blackmailing, and you're getting the boys together. And the boys are just a bunch of guys that work casually for the CIA to take out superheroes that are bad, or superhuman beings, or whatever you want to call them, that are not doing what they should be doing.
Well, they're all supposed to.
So they're basically kind of like the bad guys in X-Men, right? You're running around like stopping mutants, except the X-Men.
Oh my gosh.
The mutants are good, and in this, they're not so great.
Well, they have to take out the main guy. What's his name again?
Homelander.
That's right, Homelander.
Which is a perfect name for him.
They have to take out the main guy.
He's an American Superman.
He's not the American Superman. He's the America Superman.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You know, like.
That's fair. That's fair. It's interesting. It's worth a watch if grittiness doesn't bother you.
Right.
It wasn't a bad show, but it's not something that I'm gonna watch with like my kid or anything.
But I thought it was nice though that they didn't do it an exact copy of like what was happening in the show or the comics or anything. It was like a little bit different in that fact that they are this group and they're collecting people and then they're like going out to take out Homelander.
I'm dying because of Eric's comment. The boys, Marvel, if everyone was an a-hole. That's fair. That's fair. If everybody was like Deadpool but not funny or charismatic and just the mean part of Deadpool, basically.
Oh my god.
If everybody was just a casual assassin. I'm using casual a lot
That's
today.
very true. That's very true. It puts a really...
It's unique in what it is.
It is. But
it's definitely dark. It's not like Punisher dark. It's a completely different dark that has real world stuff mixed into it, which typically I don't go for superhero shows to see realistic stuff. Watchmen is probably the exception to that, where they had some real fundamental questions.
Well, with this game, though, I don't think that they're tying in the exact same, like...
No, it's more of the getting the band together.
Insanely gritty heaviness to it. Yes, it's more of that
get the band together. Get the band back together and get on the road for that last concert.
And so I want to make sure that that's known. So, like, you could probably play this with other people as opposed to just having to play this with only adults and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because...
definitely look at what the cards say, because I don't 100% know how truthful they're going to be to, like, the comics and to the show. I don't know anything about the comics, so personally, I've just seen this show. But this was the game that we were worried about, because a lot of times IP games can be very tricky as far as do they actually have rights to it. But there's a lot of tie-in with like the creator, and there's even like they even have pledges for like a signed copy. But they also have like 1,800 pledges, which make no sense to me. They've got Early Bird 1, Early Bird 2, Early Bird 3, and like some people are doing the non-Early Bird one, which is like $10 more, and I'm like, why would you spend $10 more when there's still an Early Bird option available? I'm very confused by it all.
You're confused by the pledges and stuff like that.
I think they're confused because this is their first time on Kickstarter.
It's a newer company that's coming to Kickstarter to put this out, and there could just be more confusion with all that. So it seems like the IP licensed is from the comic book, absolutely. So.
Wow, man, Eric is killing it right now. Imagine if the Flash got drunk and then ran over your fiance on his way home.
That's exactly it.
That's accurate. That's actually kind of, that's the boys right there.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So for this particular game here, I feel like I'm glad. Okay, I originally looked at this game, to be honest, because of the IP that it was associated with, and I always want to protect all of you out there and making sure that these big IPs. Reputable. Yeah, exactly. These big IPs come here and then they take a bunch of money, and I want to make sure that you get a quality game based off of that, because some of those particular games can become sketchy. When I investigated into this one, I was very pleasantly surprised. I feel like
seems legit.
Right, exactly. I feel like they have a lot of stuff behind this. They have talks with the comics and the creators and stuff like that.
They talk about where they got their licensing.
Right, exactly. So I don't feel like this is a shady sort of game at all. Like, I feel like you're going to get it. I do feel, though, that since they are newer to the hobby and stuff, that they also have the chance to make some of the mistakes. Like, they're probably going to deliver late. Yeah, they'll probably deliver late. You know,
which no one has done this year.
And stuff like that. So just keep that in mind whenever you're going to back this project. And I do feel like the game is something that you could probably play with the majority of people, that they're not going to go so in-depth into the grittiness that it's going to make it only adult content, you know?
I would 100% read the cards though.
Read the cards, yeah.
Because unless you've read through most of the cards, I don't know for sure how in depth it's going to be. It might end up being like Sons of Anarchy, where you're like burning people
Well,
and
that's
people
true.
freak out from that. You never know what people's lines are.
100% true.
So if you've seen the show or the comics and you really love it, this might be a great IP for you.
Right.
It's definitely a first venture. So look at the gameplay and see if the gameplay matches up with your love for the game. If you are not a fan of the IP already, probably not going to enjoy this game. I would definitely. It's going to take more personal research on this one. I can't call this one for you.
Yeah, but I am happy to report, though, that it is like a legit IP and game and everybody's involvement and everything. And it seems like their connection and everything is growing really well. So, like, this seems like a fantastic game. If you are interested in the boys, that you might want to back. So, but I personally will not be backing this game because I am not a fan of that entity in general. Doctor, would you back this game?
No, I don't think this style of game, like getting the band together, is a game that I've ever really played or had really any interest in. So this is something I'd have to try to see if it's even something I enjoy.
Try before you buy. Yeah. Try before you buy. Let's see here. Any comments we got going on here?
Well, Deus Ex Machina, and I think they're talking about Reckoners, but I'm not 100% sure. They're saying, sorry, as a designer, I get annoyed that fellow developers haven't learned that high difficulty is a barrier to entry, not a temptation. Correct. There's definitely two rules of thought on that. Some people really like those super thinky, hard to get into games, and they sell well because of it. You've got some development houses that go that route, and the other ones realize that making the game easy to get into and then having more involved in it is the way to go. There's, different games for everybody. Some people won't play a game unless it seems like it's going to be hard.
So Eric says, I'd gift this to my friend who loves the IP but doesn't play a ton of board games. And I don't necessarily feel that may be the case either, because I feel like the gameplay is in-depth enough, like there's enough, like, things going on in the game that if they don't play a ton of board games or they haven't played like newer board games and stuff like that, they might be a little overwhelmed by that, because the upkeep
I guess it depends.
of this.
Sometimes the love for an IP will drive you into a hobby that you normally wouldn't go into.
Oh,
though,
that's
too.
fair. That's fair. I know though that there is like
we got conflicting reports here,
turn
people.
upkeep on this and everything. I totally recommend watching Stella's gameplay of it because they play directly with the publishers and stuff with that.
Is that the Dice Tower one?
Yeah, and they give a lot of insight to that and everything. So totally recommend actually watching that through and seeing if there's something that you like.
This one didn't interest me enough to dive super, super deep into it. So
let's see here. Next
yes,
up.
overt randomness and high difficulty is not fun. I'm not a big fan of that either.
Well,
agreed.
You
But
want it
some
to be
people like
complex, but well, I don't like random. You want it to be complex, but not like
for no reason.
That's it. You want it to be complex, but not for no reason.
I think fiddliness is the word I always use. Or sometimes it's just fiddly, where it just takes a lot of upkeep just to play the game. You're like, I just want to play the game, but I have to go through these 18 steps just to take my turn. I don't like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like whenever companies include just like that little list of things that you need to go down for your turn and stuff with your actions and stuff, because that makes things so easy to teach people. Like, just look at your card.
Yeah. So
next up we have Naramata. I think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly though, but it is a wine country. This is by Deus Ex Machina.
It's a country ran by a president who's wine. It's a wine country.
It's for 1 to 4 players. It should last about 90 to 120 minutes.
Look at those grapes.
This is a pickup and delivery and sort of set collection game here. And I have to say from this video here, one of my favorite things in this video is just, I'll show you when it comes up here. It's whenever
Naramata.
Naramata. Thank you so much, Naramata. So I'm waiting for this. Okay, here it is, right here. So as they're going around the table, like, how many wine bottles can you spot on this? I was like, oh my gosh, how much wine is in this game? Oh my gosh, there's a whole cabinet over there.
They got some good games in the background, too.
Fantastic games in the background, right? So, they know their business.
Pack these in, like, wood crates that look like wine crates. That would be hilarious.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
That would probably be cost prohibitive, but it would be funny.
Amazing. Oh, that would be so freaking cool. So the guy's hair, light-socketed style.
Yeah, that makes sense. They can't ship wine across borders. That makes sense.
3 bottles on the table, Kabuki, so they're having an excellent game right now, okay?
What I like about this one is that you're not like, it's not like viticulture where you're trying to be the winery. You were
No.
actually doing the wine tour. Like you're
Right.
facilitating a wine tour.
I love that part of it because you're going
I haven't
around
seen that before.
and you're collecting sets and everything. You're driving around your little vehicle, and whenever you go to certain spots, you know, you cut off those spots for other people and stuff as you're going around. And essentially, you have your passengers there, and you're trying to collect different types of stuff for all the passengers, because some people just want to do like some cheese tasting and maybe go to shops, or maybe some people, they want to do some wine sampling as they go along and everything.
And I just want to go to all the board game stores along the way.
Right. You want to go to all the board game stores. So if you want to do that and sample wine at the same time, you have to collect those cards together. Takedo with wine? Kind of, a little bit.
So that's funny, Kabuki, because so when I say shares similar game space, like kind of, you know, you could almost be like sister games or games that have a similar idea. I was thinking Tokaido too. And then when I looked at one of the reviewers that was giving like his first thoughts, he said it too. He said Tokaido. And I was like, hey, I like Tokaido.
in your
so
mind.
That's not a bad thing.
Right. No, absolutely.
Oh, see, even Robert Gesslinger, Dice Tower, said that it's
Tokaido plus.
So that's a lot of comparison with Tokaido, which is a good game space or a good entity to be compared with, right? Because it is a pretty well acclaimed game.
It's similar mechanically, but with more complexity. Absolutely, because the different people that you're putting in your car and stuff, and then trying to get the different cards to match up in order to go ahead and get the points for them each round and stuff, it adds a different level of complexity to the game for sure. Because Tokaido is just very like straightforward, you just trying to get those spots. This is like you trying to get those spots, also trying to get all the cards from there and operating several different people at the same time.
So Eric Garcia wants to know if there's a card where that if you forget to swish and spit, you can't drive to the next place and you have to skip a turn to sober up. That's hilarious. And Nathan, if you want, this doesn't have minis, but you can paint the game trays. I'll allow it.
Are the driver. You're not the people actually sampling it, okay?
But can we sample while playing this? This seems like a great game for someone who's super into wine.
Oh, yes.
Because you could be drinking wine with it, make a whole thing out of it.
You could have like your little cheese platter out and
you got
stuff.
Your little
you play
cork
the tour guides.
Now,
That's
I
right.
want to be very clear. I am a person who does not enjoy wine.
Right.
So, like, I am not a wine drinker. I don't drink wine, like, ever. Maybe, like, I'll have a sip every year or so. So I'm not much of a big wine drinker, but it is a hobby. It's a whole nother hobby in and of itself. And I could see wanting to play a game where you were kind of recreating that experience of taking a trip. I know you've gone to, like...
It's so much fun.
You've gone to, like, Page Springs and all that kind of stuff. And gone to local wineries and taken little tours and stuff. But it's not something that I typically do.
North of Phoenix, there's wine country there, and going to all of the different vineyards and stuff like that up there is really fun, because we have Casadillas winery, which is
no idea.
That's the person from Tool.
I basically blank out.
That's the singer from Tool. That's his vineyard right there and stuff. So, but all up in that country right there.
I just do hard liquors. I'm weird. I'm like, give me some tequila,
you can
mix in some OJ,
hit
and
all
I'm
of
good.
them up. But look at these components. So first off, I have to say game trays.
What? There's game trays in this?
Look at that right there. I love the fact that it's shaped like the little bunch of grapes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
To be fair, game trays doesn't mess around. If we're
good.
If there's room in the box to get artistic with a tray, we always do.
So good. It's just...
That's the royal we. I don't design anything.
I love how game trays now is not only just doing functionality, but they're also doing theme with their trays. So it's like functional themed trays, not just functional trays at this point, because all of the new trays that I'm seeing come out are just amazing. What was the cloud one?
That was Petrichor.
Petrichor, that's right. The trays from Petrichor and stuff like that. This reminds me of that because
like Parks has a little wood, little wood ones.
They're integrating the game into the trays, which
All
are
the
holding
Mountain
the
King
bits.
is all rocky. Yeah. No, if there's space to do it, we always try to. Tidal blades, all the trays, nothing sweep. Like none of the trays, they're all white and they do this. Like they are, I'm not white, but they all sweep like they're rolling waves and stuff.
Also,
we do what we can.
I have to say, having all the little tiny wooden wine bottles, all the little cars and stuff like that, Meeples by Jason Bowles, Palace of Mad King Ludwig and Suburbia. I appreciate you reaching out to the community and taking other people that are doing amazing things in the community and bringing them into your game. Like, I just have to say that. That is wonderful. That shows, I love it whenever a publisher has community involvement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, you're laughing about
I'm
something.
laughing at this because they're like, did you give Trace a Jeff's kiss? Listen, I'll post
Jeff's
something.
Kiss. Mwah!
I am that person that when I post my own post, I'm just like, That was very good, Doctor. You did a good job.
I did. I just did give the trays the Jeff's kiss. Absolutely. They're fantastically themed. I want all my little wine bottles in there and little tokens. They're so cute. All right?
Yeah, I'm all about my own stuff. I'm a big fan of my own work. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, DrGloryhogg's themed game trays double as sweet ramps. That's 100% true. Like, you can play your game and then you can do a sweet jump off of it.
I told her I wanted to do a sweet jump, but she said, no, I'm too old and fat to do a sweet jump off of a plywood ramp I make in the front of the house. Which is fair. That's fair. I'd probably break the plywood now. I'm a little bigger than I was when I was like 10.
Okay, so overall, this particular game, as well as Momiji, I feel like are the two most gamery games, if that makes any sense. Like, two games that are specifically fit for board gamers.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because I feel like The Boys is kind of like an offshoot on it.
Gotcha.
And then like the Steven Rhodes Games, kind of like, okay, a light game. Like these two games are like the most gamery games that we're going to talk about. I know you're looking at me right now, but they are.
Sure. I agree. They are gamery games, whatever that means.
So if you like the sort of pick up, deliver, and set collection games, I think that this is going to be for you. And you know that they're going to have quality components inside here and everything. Like, I just thought this was fantastic. And of course, if you like Tokaido, then absolutely this is going to be for you as well. And
or if you're just a fan of the wine country stuff, I guess there's a lot of reasons to try out this game.
If you just want to have a wine game night, this is the perfect wine game night game for you. I mean,
I could see your mom showing up with this one and being like, well, we got to have wine. Like, hint, hint,
not
break out
even
the stash.
like playing the game with me, just like sitting and watching me play the game.
Just drinking wine and watching you.
And absolutely. This is on Tabletopia right now. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So if you are interested in trying before you buy, that is 100% absolutely an option for you. We always appreciate it whenever publishers put stuff up on Tabletopia so you can go ahead and try it. So there's none of that like reservation, like if I like this game or not. So we really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us today, DS Ex Machina. Also, I love your name. Like, that's fantastic. I love the name of it. So, Doctor, would you back this game?
I'm not 100% sure if I'd back it or not. I want to try it. The only thing that's keeping me back is I've only played like Tokaido like 2 or 3 times. And although I liked it, I didn't like love it. So I don't know if it's the style of game. I'd have to see if this would do enough to make me want to play it more, if that makes sense.
Okay, I feel like this...
That's my only reservation, is that I didn't super love Tokaido. I liked playing it, but I didn't love it. It's not my go-to. But I'm the big worker placement, apparently space opera guy. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of guy I am.
I would 100% back this game. This falls right into my game style here, where you have you have one theme here where you're doing your pick up and deliver sort of style game here, or that Tokaido-iness to it, where you're going through and you're visiting sites, but then adding that whole extra level of the set collection of everything on top, and using multiple people in your band to do that, and them wanting different things, and then having to make sure that you can get as many of those things done, like finding the matching ones to kind of match everybody up to what they need and everything. Like, I love that. So it's like a game on top of a game. Like, I'm 100% down with that. So I dug Tokaido, also perfect winning record with it for some reason. Ooh, Kabuki Kid is apparently...
that's right. With this, you can always go forward, but you can't go back. I remember that being really interesting. Right. And there's paths. You have to pick, like, do I want to go, like, north or do I want to go south? I thought that part was very cool. It's not just a straight linear path. Okay, so the big gimmick is that you repeat the board, but can't select the same locations, and you can also upgrade your vehicle to be better. That's absolutely. Because it's over 4 days, if I remember right, or 3 days or 4 days. I really liked that portion as well, where you are shutting off those areas for people, so it's not like everybody can jump on the same area. So there's a lot of really fantastic things happening in this game, and I want to back it. And the components are fantastic. Like, I feel like the people that made this game definitely has been on this tour once or twice. Like, as research. As research. We have to go check out the wineries. You could tell by all the awesome board games that they had in the background of this game. It was like wine and board games, like all in that video. It was fantastical. It's a good combo. It was fantastical. Thank you so much for showing up to our stream. Absolutely. So, I guess that's it. That's it. That's all. That was it. That was, I mean, we don't have anything else to talk about today. Definitely nothing else. That's all the Kickstarters that we wanted to cover. That's all the Kickstarters that we wanted to talk about today. However, There's a new challenger in the ring.
Ding, 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 ding. We have GameFound, which has recently opened up their very first, what do you call it? A crowdfunding project? Their very first crowdfunding project.
They've always been part of Kickstarter, right? Like something that you would do like after you backed a game on Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They would help like deliver and everything.
But now they're like, we're going to be our own thing. And this has actually gone up a couple 100,000 since I looked at it earlier this morning. Now, I want to be very clear. This is my first initial impressions of this because this launched yesterday. So I didn't have the same amount of time to go over it a couple times like I did some of the other games. So this is a first impression.
That's true.
I do have an impression. That's for sure. I think this, honestly, so if you want to get into the overall approach of GameFound versus Kickstarter, I think this is going to make Kickstarter nervous. This is a clean interface.
Yes.
You can clearly see the different links. You can clearly see the pledges just on the page. You don't have to go to like different tabs or anything else. You can click on the individual pledges and it gives you more information. I, so far, am loving what they did with this, the way they set these up. GameFound is going to be a big thing to worry about for Kickstarter.
So originally, whenever I had heard, I'm going to pause the video here for a second. So originally, whenever I had heard GameFound was getting into this, I had a lot of questions for GameFound. Like, I'm pretty sure
Is it going to be better?
I probably bothered
version?
the heck out of them on, I think it was Facebook or something like that. I was asking all sorts of ridiculous questions. They were probably super tired of me because they had a lot of really interesting insights on how they were going to create this. And they had put a lot of thought into what they wanted to put forth for backers, especially board game backers, and what board game backers expect from a Kickstarter-like page, you know?
Hey, we didn't do that on purpose, right? She just paused and that just happens to be the best videos you could watch. Would be our video that we're watching right now, and then our Super Fantasy Brawl tournament coverage that we did. That happens. It's not our fault. She didn't do that on purpose. That just happened to be what popped up for more videos.
That's right. That's right. So I appreciate all of the time and effort that the GameFound has put into this. And after seeing the project and going down and seeing how easy it is to navigate and select things off of here, I have to say I am impressed. I had signed up for the GameFound initially whenever I heard that they were launching this. And so I got my little coupon sort of thing for this project. I love that they did that as well. And they had a fantastic opening campaign for this for ISS Vanguard. Like, they hit the nail on the head, and I hope Kickstarter is nervous because I can see a lot more board game companies going with GameFound instead of Kickstarter.
To be fair, the last couple campaigns that they've had, Awaken Rhodes had, they're all been $1 million campaigns. Like, I mean, when I say $1 million, I mean like 5 million, 4 million, you know, in that realm or more. So, like, almost all of their recent campaigns have been really big. So to have that money leave Kickstarter and go to GameFound instead is a blow to Kickstarter. They have to know this is a problem.
I love being able to select on the chart. You can't see it here because I don't have the full page open. But being able to select on the left-hand side of the chart and going straight down as I'm looking through things. Oh, reviews. Boom. Hit that. Oh, shipping. Okay, what's that? Just boom, hit that. And it takes you right to it. I'm like, oh, This is freaking amazing. Because
competition is healthy because Kickstarter has not innovated for I feel like Kickstarter hasn't really done anything to innovate for years.
I don't look at pages the same way that everybody else does. You know, I hit on specific things as I go down my list of stuff. You know, I want to watch the opening. I want to look at mechanics. Then I want to go to reviews. And then maybe I want to go to pledges. And then,
weird.
Yeah, so I go through all of these different things. So they just made my life like 1,000 times easier when I'm flipping through this page. Like, so much easier. So ISS Vanguard by Awaken Realms. This is a 1 to 4 player cooperative game. The starting price for this game is $99.
It's actually not bad.
$99. Not bad for a starting price. No, not at all. So, Doctor, would you like to explain ISS Vanguard a little bit?
Yeah, I am like, so much. I don't even know if I have the words. This video is amazing, by the way. The idea that like because we do this in real life. We've beamed out messages to the world, and like we're getting these messages back, and they're like it's slightly corrupted, but using like our own messages back at us. But they've been cut in a way that like there's some kind of weird looming, like there's thousands of us. We're sorry that we stole your future. What? What do you mean there's thousands of you and you stole our future? Like what does that actually? There's a lot to dive into just the story of this game. But it's this big old huge space opera. Like it's a big huge space opera, and there's so much to go into with this. I think you definitely have to watch this video if you haven't already seen it yourself personally. It's intense. I thought it was intense.
Okay. So with this game here, this is going to be a very themed storytelling game. So
Yes.
think of some of their other storytelling games, like their Tainted Grail or their Ether Fields. It's almost like you have storytelling and then you have some board game.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
So like in Tainted Grail and stuff, and that was like the primary driving portion of Tainted Grail. Go ahead.
Copy and pasting our own messages back to us? Great. The future's filled with more meme lords. Yeah, that's true, Eric. Plagiarizing. They could have at least attributed the post back to its original person.
So, gosh, what was I saying? Oh, with Tainted Grail, the driving point of Tainted Grail.
We already backed Stars of Akaros, actually.
Yeah, that's
Ex
very
Machina.
true. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we already went all in on that bad boy.
Absolutely.
That one's going to have game trays in it too.
I'm excited about that one. So with Tainted Grail, you have this story base that really drove the entire campaign. And then like the card portion of it was a fun portion, I believe, that you did, you know, matching all the cards as you went along and everything. But it wasn't like, it was important to do the card portion, but it wasn't like the most important feel or theme of, or thing to do in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more about visiting sites and learning about the story and going, ooh, what's this? And then you go over here. And that was almost like, it could have been just like an RPG, but rolling dice, but instead they had matching cards. Like it's the same sort of thing. And I feel like this is going to heavily lean upon that Tainted Grail portion where you have heavy, heavy theme. You have tons of interesting stories that are going on in this. And then using this dice portion is like such a small portion, but that's not necessarily the drive of the game. Like the drive is just visiting places and finding out information.
Well,
so it just becomes storytelling.
This is going to be though too, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's how I feel. No, I'm saying that's how I feel this game is.
Yes.
Yeah. And
yeah,
so
I feel like this is probably going to be their biggest storytelling game. Where
absolutely.
Everything is being driven by the story.
Absolutely. And it has a very, like, I'm trying to think of, like, the feel of it is, like, going to be really new, I think, for a lot of people.
So we always make the joke that I don't like space games as much, but I do like space sci-fi. But the space sci-fi I like is stuff kind of like, I don't know, something we watched recently was like Night Flyers, The Expanse. I like the ones that look at space as although you're in space, there's still going to be the same problems we have on Earth. Battlestar Galactica. But space is scary. Space is like the ocean.
Space is like the ocean.
Right? Space is deadly. So I really like the idea that you can be out in this world and die. Your characters can die. I can't tell you how many of these big like exploration games I played where I had to like sacrifice a character to keep the story going. They have a graveyard for you. Look, it's a memorial wall where you can put them in there. And I always say I'm never going to forget Flumpkins the Third, but I always forget their name. And now I can actually flip back and be like, remember when this guy died to save us all from running out of oxygen? That's amazing. And that part of it reminds me about like The Expanse, where someone's like taking off their oxygen to give it to somebody else, and you can see them slowly choking out as they're trying to rescue somebody. Like these really hard choices where you can just die. You can die. Do you not understand? And like the ships are cool. And like the minis are cool. I wanted to like not look at the minis because I was like, oh, $100 space pledge, sure, we'll just do it. And then I saw the stupid minis and I'm so mad I looked at them because the minis are so cool. I will double my pledge to get those stupid minis.
No, continue. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue with your ranting.
I'm getting hot.
I know. I can feel you like getting hot over here.
I don't even like
oh my God.
space. I don't even like space. It looks so good. Oh my God. That's how I felt about Tainted Grail. But I let money get in the way of my love for Tainted Grail. And I feel like I will regret this if I don't back this. I'm just going to be honest with you. I feel like this will be that game that I'll regret. Now, we backed Nemesis Lockdown, the new one, and we backed Etherfields. That's coming in. So I haven't personally played any Awaken Realms games.
I think we backed Great Wall as well, too.
We did back Great Wall, but if you look at their track history, I was actually talking to this with Game Trace earlier today. They've got like Tainted Grail is like in the top, I think like 50 games or 30 games or something like that, or maybe even 40 games. Then like Nemesis is in there. They've got like 4 games in the top 200 just overall on BGG. That says something. They're good games. And from what I know about the storytelling from Tainted Grail, I'm excited that same team is going to be doing this, but in space. I actually want to go to space for this. I want to go to get space and get messed up by some freaky aliens.
That's what I'm saying, Kabuki. So there's room for both wine and space and kids summoning demons.
That's true. I really like the way, so at first I was kind of like, okay, it's a flat map book. And I was like, okay, but you know who else did that recently that was really good? Forgotten Waters. They did that and it was amazing. We love that stupid flat map.
Gloomhaven, Jaws of the
Jaws
Line.
the Line did it. We like that stupid thing too. And because at first I was like, oh, well, the rings being in the middle is not the same as having a board.
I love it.
That stupid flat map is better than having tiles that you put out. You always know what's on the tiles, or you can guess. I like the idea of like flipping to a page, putting it down, and going like, oh crap, what is this? There's like, you go down to the planet. If you survive, you come back up. You get to do ship stuff. This seems like there's just so much going on for this. Anyone who's, I respect your opinion if you don't seem excited by this, but wow, there just seems like there's so much going on in this.
I do have to say, flat maps, I feel like are the way to go. Honestly,
I think so.
After using the flat map books and stuff like that,
yes,
I would 100% much rather just have a flat map book than tiles. The setup is insanely easy. Flip to a page, blah. You can have a big map book too, because we have RPG map books that are just like larger books that open up and are lay flat and everything. And you can have plenty of terrain, and it's detailed and it's beautiful, and like it's just super simple.
I so didn't want to spend $75 for the minis, but man, do these minis look cool. And I don't want a stupid cardboard ship. The ships look freaking...
Map books.
This is the first time I can honestly say I wanted to actually paint the ships in a game, because usually I just don't care. I am that type of person that I play Attack Wing because it's already painted. I like that about it. I want to actually paint the stupid ships in these. I want to do like Mass Effect style colors or something, like with orange and stuff on them. And I'm just, I don't know. I feel like this is such a cool campaign. It looks so cool. I'm excited about it. You get to upgrade like dice and go different routes with those, which I like that mechanic. I am like super pumped for this, if you can't tell.
I can tell just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, so, I can definitely understand what you're saying about money, right? Money is always an issue. I think if you can afford it, you will enjoy this game. If you like big storytelling games. I mean, we've had a lot of good time with some legacy games. This is a big, huge adventure. I can't wait to flip back through the book and remember the characters that died along the way and actually be able to remember them. Not just be like, oh yeah, that guy, didn't we lose like Captain Colonel B.A.?
Fancy Pants?
Fancy Pants or whatever we called him in Pandemic Legacy. Like, I want to actually be able to flip through this book and be like, yeah, they died because we ran out of oxygen. Yeah. Or they died because they looked at that alien egg. Why did they look at that alien egg with their helmet off?
Yeah. That's funny. Eric says every dollar towards Naramata funds $1 towards ISS Vanguard.
That's funny.
That's fair.
Oh, because DSX.
So then they can back it, yeah.
So they can back it, yeah. I am...
more games on more games.
I have no affiliation with Awaken Realms or ISS Vanguard, but... And like I said, I haven't played any of their games, but this one looks amazing.
I love what they've done with the ship book here. I love the fact that you have the tracking down the side with those little dials. I hope that they're tight, which I imagine they will be. I hope they run really great campaigns and they ship quality products, so I don't see any issues with that.
The ship binder.
But having that legacy sort of feel to it as you flip through that binder and having things happen and being able, I imagine your save is super easy having that book there because you just basically slot things where they need to go and then you're like, boom, put it together. And the binder serves
a purpose too. You can see that it serves a purpose and you can upgrade like your basic equipment. You can upgrade, you know, like your character cards. You can have, there's like some sleeves or something you add to them. I'm just like, wow.
Like, I'm super impressed by that. I really like where they've brought all this. So, do you want to hear all my stuff that I want to say about it? Are you ready, Doctor? Are you ready for me to unfloat the boat?
Unfloat the boat? My boat. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For me, personally, I love RPGs and everything like that, but I don't know if this is enough game for me. I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds weird, but I don't know if this is enough of that technical portion of the game for me in order to drive me forward.
You played Once Upon a Time, a story game, and it was horrible. I hated it. And you wanted to play it again. And that was literally just cards.
Game. No, that was a storytelling game, and plus we had the kiddo in there, and that was important for the kiddo to do a storytelling game. Well, them too. I mean, adults can have stories as well.
This is a freaking space opera.
And I appreciate the dice. The dice look amazing. And
breaking this burrito. I just don't like that type of game.
Here's the thing, though. You have all these different phases and stuff, and there's only really one phase that you have where you're actually, like, playing a game portion of it. Everything else is that narrative-based thing, and then, like, the upgrading stuff, and then, like, you just have, like, the one portion that's like, okay, now let's roll some dice and allocate some things, and then, like, that's it. Like, that's, as far as game mechanics, like, those are the game mechanics, I feel like, and then everything else is just, like, maintenance and story, right?
You just described a lot of games that we love.
Yeah, but the large portion of this one is maintenance and story versus other games that might have more intricate, like...
So what's the...
Oh, gosh, here it comes. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
no,
go ahead, go ahead.
Actually, explain
Fog
to
of
me...
Divorce, coming up here, Fog of Divorce.
Explain to me how you play Forgotten Waters. You got a pad of paper. Occasionally when you do something, which is by... What do? You roll a die. You can unlock an ability that gives you a plus to other die rolls.
Okay.
To unlock the story, where you just basically move a ship down a thing, and we freaking love it. We love Forgotten Waters. We love the poop out of the game. You made me print off those sheets twice and laminate one set and have a backup set. So don't tell me you don't like this style of game. You love this style of game. What is wrong with you?
In Forgotten Waters, you're moving around a map and you have to make decisions based on that.
You're in space! You're on a planet! Did you not see that map book? You think that you're not going to be moving in that? You're just going to be sitting there like, oh, they put this map book in here so I could just chill out. Are you crazy right now?
And that, Your Honor, is why she called me an insufferable hog.
I did my hair for this.
This is your brain on board games.
Oh my God, I don't even understand you right now.
I'm just saying it's going to be more...
Are you doing this just to be a
legacy? No, more legacy, narrative driven, and then the mechanic portion of it.
legacy games.
I'm just saying the mechanic portion of it is not there.
Seafall,
But there's a lot of mechanics.
Pandemic 2, Betrayal,
They have a
Clank
lot
Legacy.
of mechanics in it. You're angering the kitty. The kitty is angry
Side,
now.
Rise of Fenris. Do you want to keep naming off legacy games that we own, that you love? I'll keep going.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, as far as like the mechanics of the game and board game gameplay, it's going to be probably lighter than Tainted Grail, I would imagine.
I'm sorry.
Because I feel like Tainted Grail and the card play that was in that, some people were looking at that and going, oh, like, this is it? Like, this is not very complicated, and that is going to be the same. But this is going to be high-action adventure, you know? Like, you're going to be getting in there with everybody cooperatively and exploring.
Hey, you know what? If you don't back this, if you do not back this, I swear to God, I will cancel our Disney Plus and you will not get to see the final episode of The Mandalorian.
What?
Because if you don't like space, you don't like space. It's an all-in. Either you like space or you don't. Make up your mind, princess.
I do like space, but I will say that everything I've played from Tainted Grail and Lords of Hellas, the gameplay will be very good.
My man Petter.
I'm saying, though, that the gameplay on Tainted Grail is light gameplay, majority
but you like
story.
Tainted Grail.
How dare you?
Oh my gosh, you like Tainted Grail.
I do like Tainted Grail, but I really, really like the card matching in Tainted Grail. Like, I think that was such a fun little, it was almost, but it was like a mini game to the game. The card game, which is the way that you would resolve actions, was almost a mini game in that entire game. It wasn't a full game. It wasn't like an integrated part of the game. It was like almost a mini game feel to it. It's a different feel.
And this is how she gets herself talked into watching 4 hours of gameplay. Is this just because you didn't have as much time to look at this one? Be honest.
No. I looked at this one and I watched...
How many videos did you watch?
Oh my gosh. I think I watched 2 or 3. No, I watched 3. I watched the one with Jesse Anderson. I watched the Board Game Co. one. I watched the Man vs. Meeple one.
Board Game Co. said it's got a spot on his shelf, and Man vs. Meeple said it was innovative and amazing.
I watched all those, but I also know Awaken Realms and what they offer and stuff like that and what I like in games. And I'm just saying that the board game portion is lighter, it's heavier RPG.
Can you please tell me all the...
That's what I'm saying.
Can you tell me all the Awaken Realm games you played?
That's what I'm saying.
Could you name them?
I've played Tainted Grail, and I know how the gameplay feels with that. And I look at enough games and I play enough games to look at mechanics in a game and realize what's going to be adding to the mechanical gameplay of a game versus the theme of a game. Like, I know the difference between theme and mechanics. Like, it's a what it is. It's not a bad
She's
thing.
got a vast experience with Awaken realm. She played Tainted Grail 2 sessions.
It's not a bad. Stop hating on me just because you're upset with my opinion, Doctor. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?
No.
Are we gonna be able to finish this stream?
I don't know. Are you? Are you going to continue to be wrong on such a fundamental level? What's next?
All right, inner chat. Let us know.
What's next?
Are you all backing this game? I want to know how many of
Your
you in
opinion
their
is
chat
wrong and you
is
should
backing
feel
this
bad.
game. My opinion's not wrong. It is a correct opinion. The board game portion of this is going to be lighter. It's not a bad thing. Etherfields has the same sort of thing, except the board game portion of it with building the boss decks and stuff like that was a little bit more intricate and integral to the campaign. Like the dice portion and the dice placement is one phase of the game that is a smaller phase.
I feel like you've definitely...
And then it's a lot more maintenance and story and making choices.
I think you've definitely unsold me on Etherfield, so it'll be good that we can flip that whenever it comes in.
Whatever.
Because if it's going to be a boring game,
it's going to be amazing. Why you got to be like this, Doctor?
Why even open it if it's going to be a boring game?
Why you got to be like this? All right, let's look at the minis. The minis look amazing, everyone. Like, they look so fantastic. I love the shield portion that they have on here.
Guess what? You can't get them unless you back the game. They don't sell them separately.
I love the shield portion that they put on here. That is something that I haven't seen on minis before that come right out of the box and stuff. And it adds a whole, like, extra dramatic level. Like, I feel sorry for the people who have to paint these minis with those things on them. I'm sure they're going to do an amazing job, but they're going to be a pain to work around, but they're going to look freaking fantastical when they're done. Like, super amazing whenever they're done, okay? Like, they did such a good job. And I am excited about space.
If you call Greg and ask what he's backing, the answer is none. Look at this. Look at her right there. I think she looks amazing.
It's like a very creepy vibe to it.
Very Swarm Queenish, like.
Very Swarm Queenish, absolutely.
You got some brain guys from Starship Troopers.
They did a good job. They did a fantastic job making all these minis. Like, it reminds you that space is scary and you don't want to be there.
I don't want to be here.
And I'm excited to see how the story goes. I'm just saying, if you're going to be backing this, it's gonna be a lighter gameplay, more story.
I'm just saying.
There's games that I've played like that. Like there's King's Dilemma and stuff like that I've played. That is pretty much all story.
Love.
I do, and then the
you
cards that you go into that.
Here's what I'm confused with. You keep on bringing up stuff where you're like, here's a game that I played that was very light. It was mostly story. But you love that game. So you're comparing games you love to this game and then saying this one is going to be like too much of that thing I love. This game is going to be too much of that thing I love. I won't stand for it. I will not.
So beautiful renders and still gets negative points in my book. Really? All right. So I suggest everybody do your homework on this one. Make sure it's the type of game you want to play, because if you are looking for a highly technical strategic gameplay, this might not be your jam. If you're looking for heavy theme and storytelling and that mystical wonderness of going into a new land,
I think it's called fun.
Observing what is done and seeing what's happening and stuff like that and kind of mitigating things, then this may be the game for you. So I think that is the really, really important part of it.
Hey,
That's
guess what I'm doing after this stream? It's signing up for a GameFound account.
We already have a GameFound account.
I don't need yours.
Oh, Doctor.
I'll just have my own.
Wow.
I like the idea of high choice with less worker placement and having a bunch of high and hard choice games. You know this other game has a lot of that? Like really hard choices you have to make. It's a game that has like Crossroads in it. Dead of Winter, one of your favorite games.
Dr. Gloryhound's going to have to spend the extra $5. That's true, right, Petter?
I already have one.
Oh my gosh. Did I see something up here about Whistle Mountain? I was looking up.
No, they're talking about how Luke L got people confused because Luke Laurie was talking about Whistle Mountain and Dwellings in a live stream, and people thought he was Luke L and stuff like that.
Oh, Whistle Mountain is good too, by the way, everyone. Like, real good. I had a ton of fun playing that game. I would get it.
I would pay $5 more to make my point. At this point,
good.
If we're going to drop 170 or whatever, then, I mean, what's the $5 at this point?
So you want to go all in on it?
I don't want to. I need to. It's not a want. I will never again make this. So we talked about this before too, where like a game will sometimes come along and make you want to unback other games to back this game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any games we still have in that window that we could unback, but there's other games that I would probably go back and be like, maybe I don't need this one as much. I think I'm more excited about this one.
Wow. Also, bravo to GameFound for putting up such a fantastic looking platform that is easy to navigate and everything.
Oh,
I'm
my.
really, really impressed. I appreciate all the hard work that they put into this, and it more than exceeded my expectations for the website and everything. Super excited. Okay. So, everyone, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. If you're new to our channel, make sure to like and subscribe so you get notified whenever we talk about Kickstarters.
There's definitely 2 reasons why you should like and subscribe if you're new.
Yes.
1, it helps us bring more content like this to you. So if you like this
Absolutely.
content, you can definitely get more of it. And 2, I need the validation. I need to know that people like me. Okay? And Petter, we're playing this over Discord, right? Or something? Because when I back this and Petter backs it, we can just play it over Discord together. Since it's a game you don't like.
Why wouldn't I be? If I'm backing it, I'm going to play it.
So are you backing it? It sounds like I am backing it.
So, our burritos. Here's our little burrito.
Oh, I'll watch Mando. I'm gonna watch
Here's
it.
our little burritos. So, what are you going to be spending your burrito money on, Doctor? I'm really curious because I couldn't at any point decide what you were backing this week. I mean, it's a mystery to me at this point. So.
Yeah, I am.
I only liked it because of the doctor's video, or the doctor's opinion on ISS.
I am all in on ISS Vanguard. $175 or whatever the heck it is. The minis. I want the minis too. I don't even care.
You want the minis too.
Cost be dinged!
The minis, because we need another big box in the house, yeah?
We do.
I'm just like,
hey, here's
it's like
the deal.
petting a cat backwards as you're going along.
Here's the deal. If we have to, there's some games I would throw out to make room. Guess which ones they are.
Burrito slap.
Guess which ones they are. They involve this, and they involve this, and a little piece of paper, and you go like this, and you go, oh, I'm going to draw a little line there. I'm going to take this die, draw a little line there. They're called rolling rights. They're gone. They're gone. We don't need any of those stinking games in the house.
Are you okay?
What's this? Is this a rolling right? It is. Get rid of it.
Leave my games alone on the table. Where's the Patreon tier for the Doctor Painting Mini show? Oh my goodness. He would just get, it would be like a very profane painting show because Doctor would be like, whatever he's painting.
I make her do the eyes because I can never do the eyes. I don't. So here's the deal. When I paint things, my hands do this, like, whee! And I'm like, come on, little guy. And I'm like, okay, well, the whole face is going to be black now.
Well, that's because when you're painting like a mini, you're supposed to have your hand on your hand like this, so then you're not shaking around.
Supposedly there's techniques, but instead,
that's what you do.
Instead of spending my time to learn how to paint minis, instead I've spent time befriending people that can paint the minis for me.
Oh, okay. So what are you spending your burrito money on?
ISS Vanguard.
ISS Vanguard.
It's actually the whole family's burrito money for a couple weeks. So,
it's many, many weeks of burrito money.
I hope you're okay with that.
That's like months worth of burrito money. Yeah, that's like 2 months worth of burritos. No more burritos for you, Doctor.
Okay.
You're okay with that?
Yes. I could probably use a few less burritos, to be honest.
I really liked Momiji.
ISS Vanguard. I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear my voice. What was that? I really liked
ISS Vanguard.
Oh, I liked that one. That one right there. That's what I'll be putting my burrito money on this week.
Remember when you tried to convince me not to back Super Fantasy Brawl and then it ended up being amazing?
I do.
Yeah, remember that?
I do.
Good times.
Well, thank you to our chat today and everybody who joined us. We appreciate all of you being
for real,
here.
What was your number one pick, you think?
I liked Momiji a lot because
That's
it
fair.
was a pretty inexpensive game that I could get, and it's like $20, for the base game. I'd like to do the deluxe, but
can't
apparently
afford
we're not
deluxe.
going to be doing the deluxe. So.
Can't afford deluxe. Hey, here's the deal. You
Because
pick one
of
game
that-
this week, and I'll pick one game, and we just limit ourselves to buying one game this week.
So
Each.
just each. I also really liked Naramata. Naramata? Naramata. I think that was it. I really liked the Wine Country one too. I thought
That's
that was
fair.
really, really cute
That's
as well. Price range though, as far as like just backing everything, like for us, I cannot back all of the games. And since DrGloryhogg is so heavy, Naramata, thank you so much. Naramata, that one may have to be a wait until later, but I'm really interested in doing it because the stuff in that looks amazing. Like those pieces, so hot. Pieces are so hot. You have to back whatever games that you all really like out there. Like if you like the worker placement sort of games, there's going to be a certain pick for you, and it's not going to be ISS Vanguard. I'm just saying.
Feel free to go to our Discord channel if you want to play ISS Vanguard with me when it comes in.
Other than that, thank you so much. This is going to be our last Kickstarter show for this year. We will return with our Kickstarter show in January. However, we will still be producing content for all of you. So we will be doing playthroughs of board games. Of course, Kickstarter board games that we have coming in because we have a whole bunch of them in.
I don't know if we can catch up, honestly.
For real. So I just put up Ducks in Tow, Valor and Villainy. We're also going to be sticking with our video game, app-based game sort of stuff. I'm going to rotate it between... And when I say video game, I don't mean like hardcore video games. I mean video game style games that board gamers would like to play, that would be very interesting on board gamers, okay?
Right, you're not going to bust out Assassin's Creed Valhalla with me.
Right, exactly. So Robert Sanders says, I passed on Fantasy Brawl and still regret it. I have regrets.
It's regrettable. It's regrettable.
Definitely over some games, and it sucks that you have to pick certain ones like that sometimes.
Slay the Spire!
It really sucks. Yes, Slay the Spire. Games like that. So our app-based or video games are going to stick in that realm, and we're actually going to be playing app-based board games as well. So we're going to rotate through some of those. And then we also have Dwellings of Eldervale that DrGloryhogg still needs to learn the rules for.
That's why it's been delayed. It is my fault. I'm the one who's supposed to learn it, and I have not. The doctor's
lead on that one. So as soon as the doctor has that learned and we get to play it a couple times and everything, we're going to make sure and bring that to all of you. We just got some new stuff in. Oh, yeah, we got all the Sorcerer set coming in. I think that might be next year.
White Wizard Games, yeah.
We have... Oh, Alice is missing. Everyone, so if you are not on our Discord, make sure to get on our Discord because I'm setting up the Alice is missing game here, okay? This is a text-based role-playing game that I'm going to be running on our Discord channel, and I'm going to pick four lucky members to go ahead and play this game with us. And then all of you can watch how the game progresses and everybody's kind of responses to everything as they go along.
Do I get to play?
So it's going to be really cool. If you want to play, you can.
Is there a spot for me? I literally told you we should back this.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
So this is going to be really fun, and you are all going to get to see it play out. So if you are not playing with us, you still get to participate by adding reactions in those channels, as well as seeing what people are talking about and the different conversing that's happening and stuff like that, and all of the cards that I end up putting down. So you all will get to go ahead and see that, which is going to be fantastic. We also have so many things, so many things. Monstrosity, we have that we need to play. We have a ton of games, so just stay tuned.
They're coming in hot and heavy.
Yeah, stay tuned so we can go ahead and bring you awesome games that we're playing, okay? So anything else before we go? Alice looks awesome. She's on ISS Vanguard. Let's see her. Play it now so DrGloryhogg can get rid of it to make space for ISS Vanguard.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Monstrosity.
Yeah, Monstrosity is done by Eric Slauson, the guy who did Tattoo Stories.
Which I really love Tattoo Stories.
He's a good guy, and the games are fun.
So much fun. Which Tattoo Stories is another really fun one we should play. I need to get some more collabs going on so we can see everybody's terrible art, and it's going to be amazing.
Speaking of collabs, we're going to do a collab with Quackalope probably in January.
That's right.
We're going to play Super Fantasy Brawl against each other. We're only one duck, hog, hound, or goose will survive.
That's going to be a live event, and it's going to be super awesome because what we're going to do with that is the two people that are playing, we're going to have the other two people, so it's going to be Jan and Jesse and me and the doctor, and whoever's not playing the game is going to commentate and just do mega burns.
Commentate, yeah. Let's try to super burn the other side.
Super burn the other side as we're playing. So I'm excited about that. So we're going to do that as a birthday party next month. I'm excited about that as well. So thank you for all of you that joined us today. We appreciate all of your lovely faces being here and watching us and hanging out with us and all of your lovely, lovely comments. We also appreciate all of the publishers that dropped in today and talked about their games with our chat. We really appreciate you taking the time to be in our chat and answer any questions anybody might have. And we will see all of you later in the week. Bye.